So you were talking about different levels. You can't get there from here unless you're on an elevator. So did that essentially define, well, that's going to be a separate tour because I can't go up, I can't go down?
Yeah, just knowing what those access points are, and whether you're starting on the first level and you need to get to the second before the third, just knowing what those levels are and where the points are is useful.
Keeping a pattern.
Yeah, that's helpful just for the OCD aspect of seeing the scan points on the mini map. You want to have them nice and aligned and not kind of sporadically all over the place. So I tried to do that as much as possible, whether it was within aisleways or, number of rows, keeping them as uniform and tight as possible was good.
Mini map.
The mini map. So what I've experienced with the Pro3 is the mini map shows your coverage points, but it leaves a lot out that the camera is actually capturing. So when the tour is processed, you have a lot more filled in data. So I guess that could be a good thing because, if you're ensuring that the mini map is completely filled in, then you're bound to have plenty of overlap and plenty of extra data you don't need. It could be a bad thing if you rely on that difference and you say, oh, well, I can see that I got somewhat coverage here and then somewhat coverage there, so I should be good. Then you may end up missing something when it's actually processed. But for the most part, the mini map doesn't show all of what's actually going to be processed.
So you actually got more, not less. More scan data than less. Was there an example? Maybe in the field, since you didn't scan the diamond, was that kind of a clue that you could see? Oh, well, this is where the left fielder would normally stand. That's as far as I was allowed to scan. Oh, I could see all the way in another 40 yards.
Right. So, I was doing kind of the outside of the field area, and I said, oh, I didn't get that far in at all. And by the time the tour was actually processed, I surprisingly did get a lot more than I expected.
Alignment errors.
I got alignment errors, misalignments in areas where I didn't think that I would have them. I'm expecting alignment errors when something's straight and all the seats look the same. And I wasn't necessarily getting them there. I was getting them around the curved part of the stadium, kind of behind home plate, but up high. And it would put the scan points the scan point that I just scanned in a place where I previously was. And so I had to use the alignment tool in the Matterport app. And I used it, I think, about 20-ish times, give or take. And it worked all but maybe 3. So I was pleasantly happy about that. Kind of saved me.
What does it didn't work mean?
It failed to align with where I wanted to put it. So I would realign it where it should have been, and then it wouldn't do it.
And gee, this is almost 1,100 scans. Does this mean you literally looked at every scan point on your mini map to make sure that it was where you expected it?
Yeah. Well, with the Pro3, it was 940 scans. Yeah, looked at every single one of them.
Okay.